an interesting dynamic this season. Christian McCaffrey brings an immense amount of versatility to the Panthers running back core. He'll be soaking in all he can while competing with 9-year vet Jonathan Stewart. The Bengals backfield certainly is crowded, but second-round pick Joe Mixon could take some snaps away from Jeremy Hill. Things in Pittsburgh may heat up between wideouts Sammy Coates and rookie Juju Smith-Schuster. Very deep group of receivers there. And Mike Glennon is competing for the starting quarterback gig with second overall pick Mitchell Trubisky. Here's Glennon on walking the fine line between mentoring and competing.
He's been great. I mean, he works really hard at it. He asks questions, and he's done a really good job as far as learning the offense, understanding what we're trying to accomplish, and I think he's done just a great job picking that up for being a rookie.
So here's what else Glennon said. He told Pro Football Talk this morning, quote, "I'm going to help him out as much as I can, but at the same time, my job is to get ready and win games for the Bears. Along the way, I'm going to help him. I'm going to be a great teammate, but my mindset is to get myself ready as much as I can. And along the way, if I can help him, that's great." All right, welcome to the NFL Live Red Zone, a deeper dive into some of the bigger topics. So it's this, these, I don't know how.
It's hard, yeah.
Yeah, these are some tough relationships, and you want to do the right thing. But especially when it comes to quarterbacks, and a guy like Glenn sounded like he was trying to convince himself, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
He put it as best he could there. I'm going to give him a little bit, but I don't want to give him too much because I don't want to help him take my job.
Yeah.
Right.
I experienced this a couple times in my career. And, early on in my career, I was with Pete Carroll when he was with the Patriots, Susie, and they drafted Andy Katzenmoyer.
In the first round.
In the first round. I mean, and he came from Ohio State with, this is Butkus winner, great player, and he was showing so much promise on the field. And, we became good friends. I talked to Andy like last week. We still talk to each other. And I helped him as much as I could. But it's like little intricacies I sort of didn't want to give him because, it's like I got a family and I want to keep my job and I want to do things like that. So
right, but did you find that there are things that you felt you had to learn on your own?
And at that point in my career, third, fourth year, sure, still I had some things to learn.
No, I mean in terms of teaching him that you kind of compute. This is all the things I can help him with, but the things that I had to kind of figure out myself, shouldn't he have to figure out himself?
You sort of feel that way.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. You do.
I'm sure Mike Glennon feels that way about Mitch Trubisky, considering that Mike Glennon's still trying to earn his way in the NFL. It's not like Mike Glennon's coming in here with a long, extensive resume where he can go, hey, you know what? Yeah, young man, I'll help you out. Let me just tell you all this wisdom I've got. Well, he hasn't played that much here. And the fact of the matter is, talking to people up there in Chicago, Mitch Trubisky has looked pretty good. He's looked good on the field when it's come time for him to execute the offense and make the throws that they're asking him to make, the same as they're asking Mike Glennon. So you can best believe that he's keeping an eye on that too and looking at just how close he is on his tail. Although, obviously, the Bears don't want Trubisky to play this year, but the better that guy gets, the less you're going to help him.
Yeah.
The more he's right on you, the more you're going to be like, I don't really know what that is.
It's like if you're watching film, and you see a little something, a little intricacy of his game, maybe a stance or something that he's looking at where if he doesn't fix that, there's going to be a huge problem.
You might let it go?
You might let that go. You might let that go. It depends on where you are in your career. I was in my 12th or 13th year, and they drafted Gerard Mayo with the 10th overall pick in the first round, and that's when you look at your watch. It's like, listen, I don't have much time here anyway, so that's when this was much more easier for me to help Gerard. We're in a 3-4. We had 2 inside linebackers. He ended up playing next to me, and I was like, and now Gerard's my neighbor. Certain things happen.
So let's call it like it is. They were trying to get rid of you your entire time in Foxborough.
I guess they were.
Don't you hear that a lot? Don't you hear that? You hear a lot of players say that around draft time.
Susie,
they keep drafting guys to take my place.
It's the nature of the sport. I can remember covering, and I'll bring up a position, kickers in Denver. Denver drafted a kicker. It had a veteran kicker. And you watch the way veterans handle young players. And I remember in this one particular case, the veteran kicker froze out the young kicker. And it made a mark with me because I felt it was so inappropriate and unprofessional at that point in time not to at least offer some pointers and some support. Yes, you're competing for a job, but there should be some common decency involved, even if it is over.
It's hard for players to understand that the upper management has a job to do also.
Sure.
They have to bring in competition that if they think you're slipping or if they think you're at a certain year, you got to find someone that's going to play when you're gone. And then it's not automatic that we're going to draft a guy, then all of a sudden he's going to fit in. Sometimes it takes a year for them to get acclimated.
A scout told me when I was playing, and I never forgot this when I got into scouting. He said, look, but a scout's job is to replace you. And if I can't replace you, I've done my job. And I started thinking about that going, man, that's kind of brutal.
Right.
That really is what it is. I mean, they're always looking to, can we upgrade this guy? Is he better than the next guy? Is he better than the next guy? And those are the conversations you have all the time, especially when training camp starts. You have meetings every night looking at the roster. Has player X jumped player Y? Has he not? How's the depth chart looking? Every day you're under the gun. I didn't realize how much we were as players under the gun until I got into personnel. It's very much so a replacement business.
Those scouts are watching us in training camp to see if we've slipped. They're watching the young players to see if they're ready to replace. That's their job, too. You're absolutely right.
And I don't want to say anything to Teddy on such a rough day, but ESPN has a bunch of Patriot linebackers coming into audition as analysts. So that's the way it is.
But you know what?
Being an analyst till 75, that's not going to happen.
But to that point, it's certainly not mutually exclusive to the NFL. Any competitive business like television, right? And it takes a very unselfish attitude. You want to help out.
I've told them that they should be keeping you around. I don't know. We'll see how these guys, how it works. The Bobby Carpenters of the world. We'll see.
But you know what? Like anything else, if you do think about what's best for the team, it ultimately helps.